We're supposed to have the same mind in us that was also in him in Philippians 2 verse 5. He goes on and talks about what that mindset is. It's really a mindset of humility and service, making yourself of no reputation. This is what following Jesus is, guys. Be honest. We've sought reputation. We've sought recognition. We've sought to be valued and honored and appreciated in our lives. Yeah? Jesus laid down his glory, made himself of no reputation, became a servant, a bondservant, even to the point of death, even death on the cross. We're to have the same mind in us that he had in him. I'll make this statement while I'm on this topic. I get very concerned about the motive of people's Christianity and their view of God. I feel like we've preached so many things that serve us without changing us, that we are even disappointed with God in life because he didn't even answer our prayer. He didn't even show up. He didn't even provide. And if you're a Christian for your sake, I promise you, you're not living blessed. You're not excited. You don't have joy unspeakable. You have a story that qualifies your countenance. I'm not being mean. Please, don't walk out on me. Just bear this. If you're a Christian for your sake, you're not doing well. Because you're staying self-conscious, and the only way you can be okay is if everything's going the way you're hoping. So now you become a product of your circumstances, and you're only doing as good as it's going. So then it's always about you. And then all your prayers are for those things to change so you can feel better. And none of it has anything to do with shining. Are y'all with me? And it's not our fault. It's been taught. The gospel's been taught in so many ways and versions. There's so many motives for coming to Christ. People come to God because of trouble. People come to God because their marriage is hurting. People come to God because they just got laid off. People have children and say, we probably ought to go to church. I'm just being real. And people pray a prayer called a sinner's prayer so they can get forgiven, so that when they die, they can what? It's not even the main point of the gospel. And it's the main point of most preachers. He didn't die on a cross so I can be forgiven and go to heaven when I die. He died on the cross so I can be forgiven and heaven can go back into me, so I can walk in the light as he's in the light. Because I'm never going to die and heaven's here. Go preach saying the kingdom of God is here. Don't look there. Don't look here. Don't look there. For the kingdom is within you. Hallelujah. Did he have to die to forgive our sins? Absolutely. It cost him his life to forgive our sins. He had to shed his blood. That's amazing. I'm not taking that lightly. He didn't die for a bunch of sinners. He died to restore a truth that was lost. And that was your and my purpose and destiny. He came to save that which was lost, not who. Something was lost. And it was your and my destiny, our the image of God, our created value. It was our identity. Everything got lost when Adam sinned, because the day you eat the tree, Adam, is the day you surely die. Jay, did Adam fall over dead when he ate the tree? But God said the day you eat the tree is the day you surely die, and God doesn't lie. Did Adam fall over dead when he ate the tree? So something had to die. What died? The image. The nature of God. The motive in life. The authority and dominion he had. See, if God made man for his image and God is love, then he made man to love, not need love. Be love. Everybody in this room has grown up needing love, desperately needing love. And we've hurt each other because of it. Because when I say I love you, usually it's I need you. Because you can have a fallout with the very person you say you love. But love doesn't take account of a suffered wrong and keeps no record of wrong. So why do we all have a story of why we feel the way we feel? Because we haven't been pursuing love, we've been pursuing need. Affection, infatuation. Trying to fill vacuums with each other and finding identity through each other. Trying to find value through each other. That's why we let each other break each other's hearts. That's why we can't forgive and forget. Why? Because everything's hanging on how you treat me, how you make me feel, and how you see me. Why? Because I'm in deficit. And I'm super needy without Jesus. And every day I wake up, I need you to love me because I don't even know how to be loved because I have too much need for love. Come on, God made man in His image. God's not a head and arms and legs and a body. His image isn't how He looks. That's why we all look different. We really look different. But you look good. Watch this. Kevin and I look different. Arlen and I look different. But we can all three look like Him. Now you get to know us. You ain't mixing us up. You ain't saying, you and Arlen look so much alike, I just get you too confused all the time. You ain't going to say that if you get to know us. But guess what? Why? Because we don't look alike. But guess what? We can both look like Him.
That's right.
Why? Because He made us for His image, and His image isn't how we look. It's who we are. We can both walk in love. We can both show mercy. We can both make peace. And I can be in Pennsylvania and he's in Minnesota, and we're both shining as lights. And that's how God's covering ground and multiplying spheres of influence and sowing seeds all over the earth. Because the people in this room can get up every day for one reason: to shine and walk in love. Now you can get up to survive. You can get up for the certain person to like you, waiting for somebody to say what they haven't said yet or do what you're waiting for them to do. You can get caught up in all that stuff if you want. But how's that produced life? It's created letdown. It's caused you to get hurt, stereotype people. Yeah? So if God is love, and He made man for His image and made Adam to love, what happened when he ate the tree? He got cut off from the source of love and became in need of love. And the day you eat the tree is the day you surely die. And all of a sudden, the identity that man had in God was completely lost. So you and I were born into no identity. Not one of us in this room had a clue who we were growing up. We needed valued, we needed supported, we needed loved, we needed encouraged, we needed somebody to show us we mattered. And there was important people in our lives that we were dependent on that were dry cups as well. And now we're all thirsty. And now even them are hurting us. And now we have bad stories of our parents and people who couldn't love me and weren't there for me. And then we interpret it as, I mustn't be worth much if they can't love me. If even they can't love me. If my mother didn't want me, I must be worthless. We're not thinking she was lost. We're not thinking that she needs help. We're just thinking, I mustn't be lovable. If she can't love me, I'm not lovable. Come on, it's happened to everybody at some level. At a very young age, you're nothing more than how you responded to how it unfolded, and that was your identity and value. Why? Because it got lost through sin. So Jesus came to get sin off of us, to forgive us of all sin, to take it away. Not cover it, take it away. Why? To make all things new. So old things could pass and all things. That's not just your bad stuff forgiven. Old things past is my motive, my identity, my purpose, my value. Come on, I got a little intense now. I'm a little excited. This is the gospel. It's what changed my life. 28 years, not 28 months. This zeal you see in me talking about this, 28 years, I'm more passionate than I've ever been. Why? It's real. You get to know Him. It doesn't change. God doesn't change. There's no turning or shifting of shadow. He loved me yesterday. He loves me today. And He'll love me tomorrow. And that ain't going to change. But if I put my trust in men and try to find my identity through people, I'm only as strong as their weakness. And we've done that. And we've allowed people to decide who we are and how we are, because we haven't understood that our life is in Him. Yeah? Come on. There's no such, I'm going to get, there's no such thing as brokenhearted in the kingdom. It's only brokenhearted in the earth because men have needs. You can't even emotionally abuse a person that knows who they are. You try to emotionally abuse me, you will get emotionally abused. How are you going to tell me that I'm not what I know I am? How can you possibly make me insecure? How could you badmouth me enough to make me feel small when Christ died for me and rose again to put His life inside of me so that I would love not my own life unto death and live by His Spirit? Come on, that's Christianity. It always has been. It's never been anything else. We've just preached versions. We've made it all about us getting something from Him instead of becoming something because of Him. Oh, man. It's your fault. You said I was going to get excited. I think you said I was you on steroids. Why'd you do this to me? Feels amazing. Can you see I'm convinced? Can you see I'm not just putting on a show for you? I live this thing every day for 28 years. You don't have to believe me. I'm not comparing me to you and being boastful right now. I don't have highs and lows. I don't have ups and downs. I don't have what people... The things I counsel, I don't relate to what I'm counseling. So all I do is try to pull them into what I know. Because I look at people, I hear the most horrendous stuff in some counseling, and then I'm like, okay, I heard what they said. Man, that's unfortunate they were in the position to do that. But I'm a little stumbled. Why are you so hurt? Why have you become a product of what they've done? Why is your response? Why is your life hanging in the balance? Why is your identity in crisis? Because you're putting something, expectation on them. They failed you. They've let you down. Or you need something from them to be okay and they didn't give it. Now you're not okay. That's actually idolatry. Like I realize they did what they did, but why are you so hurt? And people can't explain why they're hurt except they took it personal. But if you love not your own life unto death and you denied yourself, if you picked up your cross and you're following Him, and love keeps no record of wrong, and love never fails and bears up under all things and believes all things and hopes all things, because love never... Well, then we should be okay in the middle of anything. Did you hear my voice range on that? That was serious. Like, you better get that. I mean, anything. But I've met countless people that go to church. Can't get over their past, can't get over who did what, can't get over their current situation. They got a track record written down of their spouse and everything they've done that was justifying how they feel. And it's like a court case. You better be glad that God doesn't run the judgment day like a court case. The day you came to Him and submitted and cried and repented and wanted Him, you better be glad that wasn't a court case. I've heard people say a little bit of everything in that situation. Well, God doesn't expect me to just put up with, and He didn't make me to, He just gave me one life to live, and I'm not supposed to just let people walk all over me. You ask Jesus if you're thinking clear. Don't argue with me. You ask Him if you're right. And then you think about what He went through and what He did and how He never changed. You didn't see Jesus dropping the cross on the way to Golgotha. You didn't see Him letting one blow be one too many. You didn't see His feelings get hurt when they released Barabbas and changed His mind because now He's highly offended. I kill a man, or Barabbas kills a man and I raise the dead. He causes conspiracy and I bring peace and they're going to release him and crucify me. This is nuts. What am I doing? I heal how many sick, cast out the devils. I multiply food. All they want is more food. They could care less about what I'm saying. How many people do you have to heal? How many miracles do you have to do? These people are wacko. They ain't going to get it. And if they didn't get it by now, they ain't getting it. And I ain't dying. Well, we don't understand that language because we grew up with it. But He doesn't know how to speak it. Why? Because He's Jesus? Don't you answer that way. It's not because He's Jesus. It's because He's love. Because if the answer is because He was Jesus, you couldn't follow that. It's because He's love, and you can follow that. Because the goal of our instruction is love. And if you don't have love, you got nothing. So the whole reason Jesus died on the cross is restore man back to God's image. Not to make sure he goes to heaven when he dies. Forgive us for preaching that so hard for generations. The whole goal of the cross is to put His life back inside of you. Put His nature back inside of you. Put His Spirit back on the inside of you, sir, so you could have intimacy, communion, and fellowship with Him. So you could walk one with Him. So your children can grow up with Christ in Daddy. Yeah, not just a nice guy, not just a kind-hearted guy, but Christ in Daddy. Yeah, like unconditional love, wisdom on a dime. Yeah, patience beyond measure. Yeah, loving kindness and affection and tender mercies. Come on. That's why He did it. Not to take you to heaven when you die. To live through you while you live. So what are we going to do? Just go through the hell of it all till we can finally go to heaven. Let's do church 3 times a week because it's really draining out there. If your hair's whiter than mine and you're a little older than me, I'm 61, you understand that years ago we thought it was a great idea to do midweek service because it's a long haul, Sunday to Sunday. So let's go Wednesday to get built up so we can make it through. Who knows I'm telling the truth? And it was all that language. It's draining. Life will suck it out of you, man. Let's go on Wednesday. Because Sunday, yoo-hoo! And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and that Wednesday night. We're like Jesus addicts. We're like, come on. Oh, I think I can make it till Sunday. And all of a sudden, life is wearisome. People are a burden. And it's all about you getting by. I ain't never seen nobody shine with that perspective. I've never seen one Christian that was a Christian for their own sake shine. Because when you're frustrated, you ain't shining. When you're overwhelmed, you ain't shining. When you're unforgiveness, you definitely ain't shining. When you're discouraged, you ain't shining. When you just mellowed out, you ain't shining. Good tidings of... I'm not being mean. Just look at our general countenances on the daily basis. Where's the great joy? And if somebody is great joy, oh, it ain't all like that. I need to get him alone 5 minutes and find out what's really going on. We're just putting on a show. Pastors will stand in the pulpit. You know, ain't nobody ever always just all right. If you got a guy that's just all right, you need to get him alone and ask him, how's he really doing when nobody's around? You need to rescue that brother out of that delusion that he's all right. Preachers preach that stuff. Why? Because that's their own experience. Could you picture Jesus preaching that? Now listen, don't get in a whirlwind of hope, guys. And don't get hypo-spiritual on me. Nobody's ever really okay. But just believe in me and I'll make it better than it would be if you weren't believing in me, but nobody's really okay. That would be the weirdest message. Could you picture Jesus preaching that? Then why do we believe it? If it sounds strange when I'm putting it in His mouth, it should sound strange if it's in our belief system. Shouldn't it? But we've been trained that way. And the way that seems right to man has tutored us from the time we can remember. So the wisdom of the world has been our guide. And that's why when Jesus comes in, you better come in the right way and understand what you're doing. And you ain't just coming for a blessing. You ain't just coming hoping He fixes your marriage. You're coming to give your life back to Him because it was never yours. It was always created to be His life in you, not your life. That's why suicide is such a tragedy. That's why it's an impulse in so many people. Central Minnesota, a little room like this. I could tell you, to be honest, and raise your hand if you ever contemplated suicide at one point in your life or it felt like it could have been an option or it crossed your mind. You'd be amazed how many people would raise their hands. Yeah, you would. You'd be amazed. Like people are doing it voluntarily. But it's always more, it's always at least almost half, and I've seen it more than half. Why is that such a common thought? Because Satan wants us to extinguish something in the delusion that it's ours. Your life, you're getting tricked into taking something that's not even yours. You say, well, it's my life. I'll do with it what I want. It never was your life, friend. It was always created to be His life in you. Well, it's my body. That's why abortion is such a tragedy. It's my body. I'll do with it what you know He telling me to do with my body. And plus there's somebody else's body in you. It's a tragedy. Why? Because the fall of man has made man so self-centered that he thinks what was never his is actually his. It was never intended to be man, me, myself, and I. It was always intended to be Christ in you, the hope of glory. So when a man takes his own life, he's taking what never was his. He's quenching God's life in him and stopping destiny. You with me?